Game of Thrones Conquest is an MMO strategy game that puts the player in control of a Westerosi house vying for control of Westeros against other players. On game start, Daenerys has you fight some White Walkers, and then gives you a castle. Then a whole host of characters from the show appear and start giving you wisdom. Obviously a pretty pithy attempt at setting up the game to give you control of a little town to start fighting. The gameplay of Game of Thrones Conquest is very similar to other games of this same type, a genre without any significant name other than a real-time strategy, massive multiplayer. There is very little difference ultimately between this game and Tribal Wars or Travian or any other game of the same type of the same genre. You have resources, buildings to build, and troops to recruit, and enemies to kill. As you progress through the game, you gain the ability to fight other players and join systems of alliances. Precisely as in Tribal Wars, these tribes are intended to have your back through any conflict, support one another, send additional troops and resources, and just generally back each other up until you control the map. Before you can really play the game, however, you need to build your tribe, or castle, up to the necessary level. This is accomplished by spending resources and investing time. However, Tyrion is there to provide you with quests to upgrade certain buildings or hit certain milestones, as well as the ability to completely bypass the time it takes to build them. So, on being told to upgrade your farm, you click the building, click upgrade, and then click finish. Hooray, you did it! And then you do the same for this building, and then that building, and then repeat ad nauseum. The reason for this is to get you hooked on the idea of buildings being finished quickly, then suddenly suffering when you have to wait for the building to complete normally, encouraging you to pay real money to speed the game up. Many people have fond memories of playing Tribal Wars or Travian back in the early 2000s, enjoying their first taste of MMO gameplay and realizing that games are meant to be enjoyed with others, opening the doors to a long and fulfilling relationship with LANs, MMOs, and just generally not playing games entirely on your own behind closed doors. However, Game of Thrones Conquest seems designed to emulate the same gameplay system of those games, but without any of that wonderful nostalgia or first game joy. This creates a pretty soulless experience without really any kind of continuous reason to play. The game is fun in the most basic sense of the word, in the way that finding a penny on the ground makes your day a little bit brighter. Getting some resources, recruiting some troops, and hammering the enemy gives a brief moment of satisfaction, but any kind of long-term fun is not really there to be had. Game of Thrones themed this may be, fans are likely only going to find either addiction or depression in Game of Thrones Conquest.